G'day guys, Mike Bury here. Welcome back to the channel here with Zac Radford.
Appreciate you having me. Excited to be here.
Great to see you, mate. We are here at 8 Under, and recently we've done some videos with Zac, all linked down below, TrackMan Combine, TrackMan Wedge Test, and we found out what his ball striking and wedge handicaps are. Fair to say we could do a little bit of work on the wedges.
Absolutely fair to say.
We also have some tips for you guys: break 100, break 90, break 80, and break par. Let's get into it. All right, break 100 golfers, the first tip is up for you guys, and that is going to be head movement. So one of the things that we do see that is quite common, and Zac didn't do it in this particular shot, is head movement. So we see head moving away from the target on the way back, or we can kind of see head dropping too much behind during the downswing. That's going to cause fat shots, it's going to cause thin shots, all kinds of problems. So Zac, take your setup for us here, mate. Once we get set, we kind of want 60% of your weight on that front foot. Head's going to stay pretty stable on that backswing so that you can keep that weight on the front foot. Let's take it up to the top and stop. Yeah, feel how that weight's still on that front foot there? Great, set up again. So one of the errors that we would see, I'm just going to hold my hand by the side of your head here. You're going to shift away, let your head move away from the target. Feel how all that weight gets to that trail side there?
Got most of my weight on that back foot.
Yeah.
When that happened.
Now you could imagine with your wedges how hard it would be to hit that solid from
Impossible.
there, right? Yeah.
Lots of chunks.
Lots of chunks. And chunks lead to blades.
Or hitting it in the water.
Yeah. And fortunately here we don't lose balls. On the course you do. So take your setup again for us there, mate. Take it up to the top. 60% of the weight on the front foot. He stays there. Now coming down into the golf ball, he also is going to stay right there. So come down into impact. Good. And then by the time he swings all the way through, he's going to finish with all of his weight on that front foot. All right, so Mr. Break 100 Zac, okay, if this was a problem or if you weren't sure, one of the drills that I'd like for you to do is split stance. So my toes and heels are kind of lined up and I have a really narrow stance. One club head in between, balls in the middle. Now, once I'm set up here, I have pretty much all of my weight on this front foot. So if I was to, shift my weight too much, I'm gonna lose balance because I have all of that weight on the front foot, right? Also, if on the way down, if I start to kind of drop back, again, I'm either gonna lose my balance or my body's gonna say, well, let's not fall over, and I'm gonna sense that kind of struggle to stay balanced, right? So all the weight's on the front foot, swinging back and through. And if we do everything well, we finish on top of that front foot. Not too worried about the distance on this shot, obviously. You wanna give it a try?
Yeah.
All right, so what we're gonna do here is go from the setup into the split stance. So this foot is gonna come all the way back. You're gonna bring this foot in a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna have one club head wide right there, perfect. And the toe and the heel here are lined up, and almost like 90% of your weight is on that front foot, and it needs to stay there throughout the whole swing. Okay, this time Zac is gonna demonstrate how to do it the wrong way, which is gonna be a little difficult for him because he's taught himself how to do it the right way. If you can, let your head kind of move away from the target during the backswing.
Okay.
This we don't wanna do, but let's see. That was a perfect demonstration of how to chunk it in the water.
There we go.
Exactly what we were looking for, but again, don't do that at home. If you're doing this well, you'll be able to stay nice and balanced. And if you were to kind of fall anyway, maybe toward the target, but never back this way. Break 90 golfers, one of the most common things that we see is ball position issues, mostly when the ball is too far forwards in the stance. That can lead to the club wanting to bottom out first. That's another chunk. Eventually you're not gonna wanna chunk it and you're gonna blade it over the green. So Zac, if you wanna take your setup here and let's demonstrate what it looks like when the ball's too far forwards in your stance. So here you can see clearly that the ball is much closer to his front foot than his back foot. And what I like to see on these shots is the ball in the middle of our stance. So here, when that ball's too far forwards, his club's gonna wanna hit the ground back here unless he makes some kind of compensation. So, mate, let's move the ball kind of in the middle of your stance, and what we're gonna do is use this alignment stick here. So we'll get it perpendicular to the target line, and now your job is to get that right in the center of those heels right there. Good, and just from a width of stance perspective for this type of shot, let's call it maybe a 50, 60, 70 yard shot, I like to see the outside of his shoes, outside of his hips about the same width. Okay, break 80 golfers, overusing that 60 degree is something that we want to try and avoid. We have other wedges for a reason. Here's your 54, mate. Now, depending on the situation, you might have a back pin, there might be wind in your head. Yeah, the 60 might work in a lot of situations, but not all of them. So make sure that you're using all of your wedges. Break par golfers, and this is Zac, obviously. Zac can break par, does it quite often, as we saw with the wedge test results. We can sharpen up a little bit, and some of the challenges that you had was obviously very reliant on feel.
Yes.
Which is, great. We need to rely on feel, we need to develop feel and need to practice enough, but we can get a little bit, I don't want to say sloppy, but we can become too reliant on it. And, when it comes to a short range shot, yeah, most definitely should have done enough practice. You don't need to know the yardage if it's 17 yards. You need to practice and feel how to hit that shot. But when the target gets a little further out into, say, 60, 65, 70, 75, if it's just a guess, yeah, this feels like a 70-yard swing, then, we're not as accurate.
Right.
So what I would recommend you break par golfers do is consistently work on your 9-3 swing, and we'll show you what that means in a second. Calibrate that so that you can kind of stay on top of it, and then you can take feel and go up or down, but you've just got something that you know how far it goes other than a full swing. There's, a clock here. 12 is at the top of Zac's body here, 6 is at his feet. His left arm is going to be the arm on the clock on the backswing, right arm is the arm on the clock on the way through. We're going to do a 9-3 swing here. So, mate, let's go where your left arm is level to the ground on the backswing, and that's going to be right here with that 90-degree wrist hinge. So set up again for us. I'm going to help you into that position. So left arm's level to the ground. Good, nice 90-degree angle. So this is our 9 o'clock position here. From here, he's gonna rotate his body, turn all the way through. And now, right arm is level to the ground in a 3 o'clock position. Club is not actually pointed back up this way, it's pointed somewhat towards the target. That's your 9-3 swing right there. Now, as you're doing this, one, you wanna make sure that you're hitting that position, and you might wanna video it yourself, checking that you get to 9-3. The other part of it is making sure that you're swinging at the speed you would do on the course, right? So, not too soft and slow. Wedge players are kind of aggressive on their wedge players, right? Good wedge players on their wedge swings. So let's see your 9-3, mate.
Okay.
That was happy days, and that just about went in the hole. The distance that that shot goes is not like, it doesn't have to go a certain yardage. It needs to go your yardage, and you just need to know how far it is.
Yeah.
But it's very easy to get away from that and forget about it. So again, for you break par golfers, make sure you're calibrating that, working on that 9-3 swing, dial in those wedges, go up and down to hit it longer or shorter, or change clubs. Gotta have the 9-3. Hopefully you guys found those tips helpful. All Zac's and 8Under's socials are down below. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. We'll see you in the next video, but until next time, good golf.